in solidarity with the Palestinians to mark 100 days of Israeli war. In commemoration of 100 days since the start of the Israeli war in Gaza, Journalists Syndicate held a solidarity demonstration on Monday under the slogan 100 Days of Aggression, Stop the War, Prosecute War Criminals. Journalists gathered on the steps of the syndicate in Cairo, displaying images of Palestinian martyrs and wrapped coffins demanding entry of humanitarian aid to Gaza as a means to counter Israel's plans to displace Gazans. The demonstrations was attended by Khalid al-Balshi, head of the Journalists Syndicate, along with other members of the syndicate's council board. And now we are joined over the phone by Dr. Ayman Salama, Professor of International Law. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, sir, do you see that the Israeli allegations before the International Court of Justice said that Egypt is responsible for preventing the entry of humanitarian aid into the Strip through Rafah border crossing is a way to hinder the great efforts exerted by Egypt since the start of the war?
Baseless, groundless, and evidenceless allegations of the Israeli legal team that was submitted to the ICJ, the primary judicial organ of the United Nations, 3 or 4 days ago, because Israel actually couldn't find such a legal base, ground to refute or to respond to the evidences that submitted by the claimant state, South Africa, against Israel. That's why Israel is in a mess, actually is in a mess, and it doesn't believe that the Israeli state, which had been advocating, defending the Israeli or the Jewish people worldwide against the Holocaust, and made the Holocaust as a sort of victimization, the people of Israel and the Jewish people worldwide. She found herself that she's in the knock. She's in a hot water when South Africa dragged Israel to the Hague in the Netherlands, and for the first time ever, Israel isn't facing General Assembly, either Security Council, and supporting by the veto, American permanent veto, no veto at the ICJ, no veto at the ICJ, and Israel for the last time, I mean, after many hours, days, she concluded that it would be nicer for Israel to defend herself before the world in the Hague at the ICJ, instead of being prosecuted or tried in absentia. So we will see what will happen in weeks, in months probably, when we are all, I mean, the people of the world, we are waiting for the orders, not the judgments or rulings, the orders that had been or that were requested by the claimant state South Africa to the judges against Israel.
So, sir, Israel wants to push the Palestinians to leave their lands towards what it described as a safe areas in southern Gaza towards Rafah. And this approach is exactly what Egypt has been warning against. Can you highlight on that as part of the Israeli plan to deport the Palestinians, empty Gaza, and liquidate the Palestinian cause, something that Egypt will never allow?
You remember not only the Egyptian people, but yes, the whole universe. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi, the head of state, reiterated perpetually, reiterated many times that we do not accept the liquidation of the Palestinian case, a Palestinian case, and the Palestinian people's right of self-determination is an Egyptian Arab Muslim case, and we will not actually accept not only the deportation, the coercive deportation of the Palestinians, the Gazans, into Sinai or into any part of the world out of Palestine, out of Gaza, but also we, based upon international law, which is the Egyptian stance ever, we refuse, we condemn the crime of the war crime, and also simultaneously the crime of against humanity, the coercive transfer of Gazans inside Gaza, inside Palestine. So this is the Egyptian legal, diplomatic and political stance. Egypt had never accepted, even in the preceders heads of state prior to the era of His Excellency President Fattah Sisi, all Egyptian presidents refused any plan, any actually dirty plan, any manipulation to the Palestinians and also to the foreign, or I mean to the other states, that Egypt would be a safe haven for Palestinians, or even the so-called safe areas, which are not illegitimate safe areas claimed by the Israeli IDF, Israeli occupying forces inside Palestine, inside Gaza, because till now we had witnesses. I don't mean Ayman Salama, but I mean the whole world, witnesses since the 7th of October last year, arbitrary refusal from Israel of the humanitarian corridors, humanitarian aids to smoothly and effectively reach the Palestinians or the Gazans, and also the arbitrary refusal of Israel to establish objective, legitimate, logic even, safe areas in the southern part of Gaza.
So, sir, after 100 days of war, do you think that the Israeli side will continue its aggression and that they have achieved their goal, or still they have more ambitions?
Unfortunately, because the inciter, I mean the provocation of the Israeli ally, which is the United States of America, we cannot call it, legally speaking, and upon the genocide convention that had been endorsed by the General Assembly of the United Nations on the 9th December 1948, we can call United States of America in particular as an accomplice, legally speaking, to Israel. And this convention, I mean the Genocide Convention, does not prohibit, does not prevent only the act of genocide, the crime of genocide, but in addition to this, all acts, all types of incitement, accomplishing, and even the attempt itself to commit genocide. That's why I'm responding to your question. As far as Israel is destroying, annihilating, genociding the Gazan people, Israel and its maniac prime minister and prime of war council, Mr. Netanyahu, is targeting the ultimate target, which is the liquidation or the destroying of the circle command, I mean political and military command of Hamas, in particular in Gaza, which is still now is very, very far from attaining this objective by the Israeli forces and even by the Israeli politicians, topped head by Mr. Netanyahu.
See the Western stance after 100 days, the stance of the Western countries.
I can claim that the public opinion, the world public opinion, demonstrations worldwide, even before or in face of the White House and down the street in London, many parts of the world, not only the Arab, Muslim, Asian states, But I think that all the demonstrations, allies that supporting the Israeli Palestinian rights and question, I'm quite sure those even the United States of America in the last 2 or 3 weeks, they tried actually to save their face in face of the public opinion and the Arab peoples and heads of states that United States of America pretend that she made such pressures, efforts to make the Israeli attacks during the armed hostilities or armed operations more legal or be under observed, monitored actually under the international humanitarian law. But all of these actually could not prevent Israel from committing the alleged international crimes, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and even genocide, as South Africa could succeed in submitting its case before the ICJ on the 29th December last year.
And do you think more countries will file suits against Israel in the International Court of Justice?
It happened. Officially
yes.
speaking, the Kingdom of Jordan 2 days ago, the Mr. Safdi, Ayman Safdi, the Jordanian Minister of Foreign Affairs, he declared that we will intervene with the South Africa against Israel, and he said that in the next days we are preparing our oral proceedings or our oral defense before the judges of the ICJ, and this will undoubtedly and beyond any doubt will support the stance, the legal stance of the South African country, South African legal team before the ICJ. And I would like to emphasize something very important in this case. The ICJ isn't a politicized body, isn't either a political or security body that, like the Security Council, but those are independent, neutral, and impartial judges selected, picked out by two main bodies of the United Nations. First of all, there must be a recommendation from the Security Council, and then a voting with the majority of the General Assembly.
And sir, do you expect that that violence can spread in the region, as we have seen now that there are some violence in the Red Sea and in other areas? Do you expect that this will increase in the coming period?
Upon my poor knowledge of strategy and based upon my service in the Egyptian Armed Forces for approximately 25 years, I don't agree with those experts or those who asks that there will be an extensive or a regional armed conflict or a war in the region, because states, all states, they curb their emotions, they curb to actually attain their ultimate political objectives, goals, and purposes. That's why I do not think till now that there would be a regional war. However, I claim, I judge that it could be a war, a regional war, I mean, if there would be a mistake, a fatal strategic mistake from any party, not only a state, but a fatal strategic mistake from militia. I mean, military non-state actor groups could mistakenly hit a target, a very strategic or vital target to the superpowers, in particular the United States of America. But till now, all the parties made such skirmish or a main light military confrontation.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Ayman Salama, Professor